The movie reviewed in this episode is rated R. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome everybody to the Scary Movie Nights podcast, a podcast where the scares are real, but the friendships are realer.
Aww.
Today, we'll be reviewing Fear Street Part 2, 1978, released in 2021.
Yeah.
Got it?
Lots of numbers.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's Mariana.
That's Joan.
And we are your hosts for the night. But first, Mariana, let me ask you, what had you burying the hand this week? Did I say that right? Is it burying or burying?
I say burying.
It's burying, right? Because burrowing is like when you borrow.
Yeah, burrow.
Okay, got it.
And then there's borrowing, which is when you borrow.
You know, it's just the English language. It's a little, you know.
Okay, this week I was burying the hand because it was Halloween.
Period.
So we're fresh out of Halloween.
Yes.
We had 2 shindigs in a row, which was fun.
One was yours.
One was mine. I had a shindig.
Super fun.
Yeah, we watched a great movie.
Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, which was Joan's movie suggestion.
Yes, my movie one, y'all. Yay. It was a really fun, like system y'all had set up. Mar drew, what do you call the tournament style?
Bracket.
A bracket. And so we just kind of all voted on the movies. It went up against some really good ones too.
Yeah, we had Get Out, Drive Me to Hell,
Psycho,
yes,
It Follows.
It Followed. It was down to It Follows and Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah.
And there was a tie. So we actually had to flip a coin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Total chance.
It was very exciting.
It was
but the movie was really good.
Yeah.
And it had Patrick Wilson. So we all know why Joan suggested that movie, obviously.
One of my coworkers, shout out to Mike, one of my coworkers actually suggested that I watch that movie because he knows how much of a horror buff I am. So he was like, okay, I highly suggest if you're in love with Patrick Wilson to watch Bone Tomahawk.
And he delivered, and
excellent film.
He dragged his little leg and he ate.
Yeah.
Joan.
I will add a disclaimer because I have seen some reviews and some thoughts on the movie itself about the portrayal of indigenous people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I will say there are some really heavy themes that I think we could all criticize.
Yeah.
I don't know that it completely takes away from the quality of the acting and the writing of the film. Yeah. I thought it was totally incredible. The cinematography was great. But of course, if we ever do an episode on it, we can absolutely talk about that.
Yeah, we actually did talk about that, after a lot of people had left and there was a few of us left, and it did seem like the cult, I think they call it a cult or something, the cave dwellers.
Yeah, the cave dwellers.
It did seem like they might be this is a spoiler for this movie.
Yeah. So skip, I guess.
Yeah, 5 seconds. It seems like they might be a different species altogether because of their whole anatomy.
They had a thing in their throat. Yeah.
So I think that maybe redeems that a little bit, but definitely they're supposed to be kind of grouped in with Native Americans, and there's some.
Yeah, which I completely have thoughts about that, obviously.
Agreed.
But
okay. Joan, what had you burying the hand this week?
Me, I'm going to actually echo you in that because I absolutely looved.
We looved.
I loved.
We got a heist on the mind.
I loved Halloween weekend. I thought it was a lot of fun. You guys' party was awesome. I ate literally half of the food that y'all had out there.
It was a potluck.
It was a potluck and I ate a lot of food. And it was a lot of fun. And then yesterday we went to Austin and Eric's. And Emily and Travis's, actually. So that was really, really fun, too. We got to meet some cool people. Had some mead, which was really nice.
Absolutely. Costumes.
And can we talk about Travis's
movie room?
Yeah, movie game room.
We certainly can.
That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So just to kind of paint a picture here, it was a smaller room, but this man had 9... Star Wars lightsabers, some of which displayed, some of which he had built.
Yeah.
He had a whole projector where he would play video games and watch movies. He had a whole PC set up on the side, and everywhere was just nerdy shit that was so totally
Funko
awesome.
Pops out the wazoo, but it was so cute, and they had a Pirates of the Caribbean themed bathroom.
Yeah.
And I peed in it, and it was great. Shout out.
Okay, Black Pearl.
Great peeing experience.
Black Pearl has some pretty good amenities, I guess.
Yeah, yes.
Modern plumbing, but
Exactly,
it was a great weekend, and I absolutely loved it. So
it was like my first
really
time ever like truly having like Halloween weekend where it was like 2 events.
Yeah.
And we had 2 costumes as well. I had 2 costumes. So did you. So
Yeah.
it was like
Okay,
it was
to
fun.
be fair, I had 2 onesies.
Okay, I wasn't gonna put your stuff out there like
I had a shark onesie on Friday, which y'all saw it during the
For
Jaws
Jaws.
episode, and then I had a Superman onesie,
Yeah.
which has yet to be revealed on camera.
Yeah.
But
To be fair, I had a onesie as well, but mine was more elaborate because I was a piñata.
Yeah,
so it was
piñata.
like more.
and Logan was the candy
Logan was the candy.
that fell out of the piñata.
Yeah, we just stapled some candy onto his shirt. It was super.
You know what? I love
it. It was
it. It
literally
worked.
5 minutes. We were about to leave the house, and I was like, "What if we staple candy on you?" Because he was gonna. Originally, he was gonna go as Pythagoras, but he has to wear like a wig and a beard, and he was like, "People are gonna think I'm Jesus, and I don't want that."
no.
And then he was gonna repeat his night outfit from the night before when we were Romeo and Juliet from Baz Luhrmann.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, "What if we just staple candy onto
Wait,
your shirt?"
hold up. I totally did not catch Romeo and Juliet from Baz Luhrmann.
What?
But now that you say that, it makes so much sense. I was like, oh, look, he's a knight. Oh, look, she's an angel or a fairy or something. And like, I literally thought that was it. But Romeo plus Juliet, Baz Luhrmann makes so much more sense.
Yes.
Yeah. But
That's so funny.
enough about that. Let's take some L484 for Fear Street Part 2,
Tylenol.
1978. Hey.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I guess a little bit. But L484 is actually, that was kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, that
that was a good moment.
I like that.
But we're going to head into our no spoiler section. So if you guys have not seen Fear Street Part 2, this is definitely safe to listen to. So Mariana, take it away.
Alrighty. Fear Street Part 2, 1978, released in 2021, is a horror slasher prequel to Fear Street Part 1, 1994. So this is a sequel, but it's set before the events of Fear Street Part 1,
Yeah.
which makes it sort of a prequel.
Kinda. I would say
That's confusing, because it's definitely...
it's both, because it has elements of both.
It does.
So.
It follows the events at Camp Nightwing when a camp counselor goes on a murder spree. Sisters Cindy and Ziggy struggle to survive and uncover the truth behind the events, which seem to relate to the curse of Sarah Fear, which we are familiar with from Fear Street Part 1.
Correct.
Or if you've seen Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, it's sort of similar to that.
You've basically seen it.
Exactly. Our director is still Lee Janiak, so she was hired on for all 3 movies. And then this one, she wrote the screenplay with Zach Olkowicz. Olkowicz? I'm so sorry, Zach.
Olkovich.
Olkowicz.
That sounds fancy as hell.
does.
Olkovich. We're gonna go with that.
So they wrote the screenplay together. Actually, he originally wrote the screenplay, but when Lee Janiak was hired on for all 3 movies, she sort of like did rewrites and stuff along those lines. Now, the cast here, we have Sadie Sink, queen of Netflix, sort of. She's in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
and
she's
I
in Stranger
consider
Things,
Stranger
yeah.
Things like Netflix royalty, like the people who are in that. We have also, well, I'm not going to say this part because...
We'll save it for later.
Yes. Well,
All
this
right.
is a spoiler, but we have Emily Rudd as Cindy Berman, and I couldn't figure out, like, I couldn't place her, but she was in One Piece. Did you watch One Piece, the live action?
Uh-huh.
She's...
Was she like the friend? I forget her name.
the girl from One Piece.
The girl from One Piece. Yes.
Sorry
Emily
to One
Rudd.
Piece fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me look it up.
But she was great. Ryan Simpkins as Alice, who was my favorite character, I think.
Which one?
Alice.
Okay.
She has
wait.
like the short blonde hair.
Oh,
And
yes.
the first time we meet her, she's like fucking.
Very interesting.
She's like-
Yes.
That
The
scene was
reveal was crazy.
This movie was very sex forward,
Yeah.
and sex positive. I didn't really recognize any other additional names, and this movie does kind of go back and forth between past and present, so we do get to see some of the characters from Fear Street Part 1, so we get to see Nodina and her little brother as they're kind of trying to uncover this curse because they're visiting C. Berman, who was a survivor of the curse of Sarah Fear. And they want to figure out how to help. What's her girlfriend's name?
Sam.
They want to figure out how to help Sam, so they go to her to kind of figure out, hey, how did you make it? And she tells them the story of the events at Camp Nightwing. I love this movie. This was my favorite of the 3.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because you cheated on me with your husband.
I'm so
and
sorry.
You watched
we
part
were
3.
supposed to watch part 3. Okay, here's the thing. Whenever you told me we should watch part 3, I'd already started it, and I was like, okay, I'll finish. Like, I watched like 20 minutes of it, and then it came up on Netflix, and Logan was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, I need to watch this for the podcast." And he was like, "Let's put it on." I was like, "Okay," and he watched it with no context. Although part 3 is also a sequel prequel where it goes even further back in time. I also really love part 3. I think for me it goes part 2, part 3, part 1.
Okay.
In order of
I have not rewatched part 3, so I can't say. I watched part 3 like when it released, so it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
It, so
it's like a little Vivitch coded.
Yeah, I think that's probably why in like my head I remember part 3 being my favorite. And that's probably why. Maybe it's like more of a slow burn sort of moment, but I will have to withhold that judgment until I rewatch it.
You'll have to wait for 2 episodes from now.
Correct.
Okay, these films, so for production, I mentioned a lot of this when we first did our episode on Fear Street Part 1, but they were all shot back-to-back in Georgia, and Camp Nightwing is actually Camp Rutledge, so that's the camp that stands in for Camp Nightwing, so if you ever want to go there, check it out, live the experience. I love that this is set in like a camp.
Yeah.
It's so, I don't know, it feels like quintessential horror.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool in the movie, so 70s.
It is really 70s. I mean, it's very like Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Coded.
Inspired, yes, I would think so.
Yeah, and maybe even Sleepaway Camp. I've never seen Sleepaway Camp, but I'm imagining it kind of is that way.
I love everything about like the camp setting. Like I love the mess hall, and I love like the outhouse, and I love the like whenever they're like cleaning the outhouse and they're like on their knees, I'm like,
yeah, I can't. Literally, please.
But I love the like art room that they have, and they have like just a bunch of tie-dye shirts like hanging from the ceiling, and I'm like, that's so camp coded. That's so camp.
That's so camp.
Okay, now although this is the second film in the Fear Street trilogy, it was actually the last one that they filmed. So they filmed part 1 and then part 3, and then they filmed part 2.
I'm going to assume because they used a lot of the same actors in 1 and 3.
Yeah.
I think that feels right.
Yeah. Or I really don't understand how film scheduling works. Like, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Also, this film, like I mentioned, so the Fear Street Part 1 was supposed to have a theatrical release in 2020, but due to the pandemic, they were released later on Netflix, and they were released a month apart from each other, is what I read. I did not watch them as they were coming out, but I know you did.
I did watch them as they were coming out. I don't remember the release timeline, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Alrighty. So, let's get into some miscellaneous details, and then we can just talk about the movie. For my research, there wasn't a ton of additional details that I didn't already cover when we did Fear Street Part 1, but I do have so many things I want to talk about in this movie, because it was just honestly such a fun time. I want to talk about the music.
Well, it's your favorite one of the 3, so yeah.
Okay, so some miscellaneous details. Camp Nightwing, so the name of the camp is a reference to the setting of one of the Fear Street books, because like I mentioned last time, these films are based on R.L. Stine's Fear Street novels or books. I forgot what the book was called, but it was on Wikipedia. Now, this film borrows heavily from the original Friday the 13th. Joan, I have not seen Friday the 13th.
That's okay.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get...
Thank you.
Like, I'm gonna get
You're gonna take me out back and shoot me.
No, they're gonna at me in the comments or something, because they'll be like, it's a classic. But, I mean, okay, look. If you like slashers... Friday the 13th is like it's a good movie. Yeah. Because it is like, it builds up tension really well. It has some really satisfying kills. Like Jason, although I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but like the killer in the movie is like a cool villain. It was like, for me, I'm like, I'm okay with slashers. It was just like an okay movie. And
Okay.
then also, I will say I've watched 1 through 3.
Okay.
And because there's also like a million of them, and 1 through 3 are literally just like the same movie, like over.
Yeah,
it's
I think
like takes place in a camp. All these teenagers get slaughtered, and it's
slashers are the horror genre that I least gravitate towards.
Yeah,
They can be
agree.
really good. I'm trying to think of slashers that I loved. I love
Scream.
Talk to Me. Scream.
Scream
I
is
love
awesome.
Scream.
No, Talk to Me is not a slasher. I don't think
You're right. It's just
It's like
gory.
supernatural. That's a supernatural.
It's supernatural. It's just gory.
I love Scream. What else?
Scream.
Honestly, I really like Halloween.
Scream.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is awesome.
Thank you, Logan.
Halloween is really good.
Yeah.
And actually, so like Clown in a Cornfield,
Have not
like,
seen it.
pretty decent.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also really want to watch Terrifier. Still haven't. That's a slasher, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I can, like, if a movie is really gory, like Bring Her Back, Talk to Me, I'm like, The Substance, I'm like, that's they're slashing something. Something's getting slashed, right?
The reason for the
know?
blood? Slash.
Oh my god, Joan, that just reminded me for some reason, but you know what we did today? We went on a walk.
Uh-huh.
We were trying to walk off Halloween weekend, and and Logan and I were like, I was like, how many Pokemon do you think I could name just off the top of my head?
Oh.
And Logan was like, I think you could name 25. And so our entire walk, I was just like trying to brainstorm.
Struggling to brainstorm.
freaking Pokemon.
Did you make up some names too that were
I
not
made
real?
so many names up. So we were talking about like, so
Playmon.
I said, wait, because Eevee
That's
has like
Digimon.
all these evolutions, and I was just like,
Eevee.
I remembered. Well, first I called it Volteon, and then I was like, no, it's Jolteon.
Yeah,
And then
there
I
you
was like,
go.
oh, they're all eons. So I just was like, and Logan was like, there's a fire one, and I was like, oh, Flameon, Fireon, Sparkeon.
Fireon.
I did not get it.
Ashion.
Ashion. What was it? Flareon. I remembered Glaceon, and I remembered
Glaceon.
Leafeon. But those were the only ones. And then I
Leaf Eon.
I could not. Well, I was like, Logan was like, it's like earthy, and I was like, oh, Earthyon, or Dirtyon,
Groundeon.
Grasseon, and he was
Muddyon.
like, well, grass is sort of close, and I was like, Leafeon, and he was like, yes. I was like, what?
Maybe we should have why this conversation started.
Wait, what did it start?
Yeah, point is the
first
point.
Pokemon you thought it was Diglett.
Oh, we were
Diglett.
we were
Diglett.
walking, and there was like a dog poop, but it was standing like straight up. And I was like, oh, that looks like that Pokemon Diglett.
Diglett. Yeah.
That's actually the first one I named, and then Doug Trio.
How many did you name?
I named 25.
25 exactly.
But Logan
Great.
did help me out with some of them because I was struggling. Yeah. Like I remembered Mewtwo, and he was like, well, if there's a Mewtwo, what about?
Well, I'm pretty
like
sure
before
Brian could
that?
name 3 Pokemon.
Okay.
So I think he did a lot better.
Yes.
If he were here, he'd be like, I can name more than 3.
We'll ask him. We'll
Well,
ask
to
him.
be fair, he did play Pokemon Go with me for a long time.
Okay.
So he probably can name a lot.
I played Pokemon Go a little bit. I don't know why.
No, he played a lot. We both played a
Okay.
lot. We spent so much money.
I think he could do it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, back to our research. Okay, so our composers, so we have Marco Beltrami and Brandon Roberts. They make tributes to some classic horror films, including The Omen, which is when they're reading the nurse's book, as well as Alien, which is when they're in their like cavern maze and they find like the nest.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
like because
Okay.
I've been trying to kind of hone in on the score of films a little bit more, because that tends to be the thing I pay attention to the least.
Yeah.
So it's not something that would have like hit me in the face, but it kind of is interesting because I rewatched most of the movie today as I was doing the research. I had already watched it before. So that was kind of interesting, and there's also some hints to the Friday the 13th series.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, so like the theme for that. Now, even though they play characters who are different ages, so there are actresses who are playing the same character at different stages. I won't say who, because I feel like that might be spoilery.
Yeah.
But they like never met at all actually during filming. They didn't meet until like the premiere of the films, which I think is interesting. Okay, this film has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. Actually, so the third film, Fear Street Part 3, has an 89. This one is 88, and then I want to say Fear Street Part 1 had like 82, so this one is a little bit higher rated than the first, but not, according to the critics, not as good as the third installment of this series. But that's ill. that's it for my non-spoiler section. I have a couple more things to add when we talk about spoilers, and then we can talk about this film and our thoughts.
Love. All right, thanks, Mar.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to our spoiler section. So if you have not watched the movie and don't want to be spoiled, then please either skip ahead or pause, go watch the movie, and then come back and listen to the rest of the episode. All right?
Exactly.
Okay, so there was like a couple of facts that you skipped over.
Yes. Okay. So, like I mentioned, we have two actresses who are playing the same character. So we have Gillian Jacob. She's
Is
playing,
it Gillian or Jillian?
Gillian.
Girl, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's spelled with a G, so...
That's tough.
Yeah,
Sorry
it is tough.
to Miss Jacobs.
Somebody please teach us how to pronounce these names.
I feel like we always mispronounce names, and I feel so bad. I feel like these people are going to randomly find the podcast, and then they're going to like at me and be so rude. But I feel like you're right. It's Jillian. It's got to be Jillian.
It has to be, right? I mean, because Gillian...
but like the G, like...
I don't know,
words
dude.
beginning in G should
Gajillion.
be Gajillion. Gajillion. So Jillian Jacobs, I'm just going to call her Jillian. Jillian Jacobs and Sadie Sink, they never met until the premiere, even though they both play Ziggy.
What a twist, by the way.
Yes.
I was like, that's not how any of this works, but okay.
I really, really thought that she, like, the older sister was,
was going to be C.
Bergman.
Yeah.
Okay, and then at the end of the film, when Nick revives Ziggy, we have The Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie. I love David Bowie playing, and that foreshadows the events. I will say that foreshadows the events in the third installment. So let me not spoil the whole series here. But it does foreshadow something that happens or something that is revealed at the end of the final film. Which, by the way, I should have seen coming, but I didn't.
Yeah. I was so disappointed in Nick.
Oh.
I was so disappointed in him, and I'm like, yup.
Yeah, especially I was disappointed in him from the moment where, like, at the end of this movie, she's like, Nick, tell them what happened, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. King, you just saw everything go down.
Although, to be fair, like, it is pretty crazy what happened. I mean, who's gonna believe,
True.
Like, there's like the local mythology of the witch, and so they'll be like, oh, you're just hallucinating, or you're just believing tall tales. Like,
I do also feel like the town is way too chill about this lore.
Way too chill.
Because there are these mass murderers.
All the time.
Like, all the time, these mass murders. And they're like, oh, it's just coincidence.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, get
crazy.
Handle that shit.
Someone needs to get on that. Like, it's actually... insane.
Like, insane and extremely worrisome.
Maybe this is all a metaphor for, like, crime in low socioeconomic areas.
Complacency, maybe?
Yeah.
It's like, well, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah,
it's
like, oh, that's just shady side. Like, come on. We could fix this. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get into our opinions now. That was the last of my facts.
Okay, so this one's your favorite. So let's start with some of yours.
I feel like... Actually, I feel like there's so many exceptions to this now because I'm always like, the sequels are never as good as the original. But there are actually so many exceptions to this film, like, allegedly. I say allegedly, like, to be funny. I know it's not that. I just have to make sure people know that. But, like, allegedly, Godfather Part 2 is better than The Godfather.
Okay.
I think Shrek 2 is better than Shrek 1.
Okay.
I think Toy Story 2 is better than Toy Story. So there's actually so many sequels that break the mold. But usually, whenever I'm watching a sequel, I'm very, like, apprehensive. Or, like, we recently watched Scream 2.
Okay.
Because Logan really wanted to watch it, and I was like, oh, it's going to be terrible. And it was actually okay.
Okay.
I don't think it was as good as the original, but
I don't remember Scream 2. It's been a while since I watched
they're, like,
that.
in college.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm apprehensive. I think I'm biased towards the sequel, but I watched this one and I just enjoyed it so much. I thought it was better than the first one.
Okay. I agree.
I think the first one did a good job as well, but I feel like this really captures so many, like, good elements of horror in, like, this non-cliche creative way.
Yeah.
Where it, like, feels familiar and almost, like, comforting.
Yeah.
Like,
cozy.
I love the camp setting. Why was it cozy? Why'd I love the friggin' cavern so much?
Well,
like, it was so cool.
I feel like, okay, one, they're were like less characters that were focused on in this movie.
Yes.
And so you were able to see like some character development and like you learned some backstories and like you really related to them. Whereas like in the first movie, first of all, Dina's like not really a likable character.
She's not super likable.
And like her friends are the more interesting ones, but we don't really get a lot from them because there's so many characters that they're trying to introduce.
Yeah.
Whereas in this like second one, we're really just focusing on the Bergmans and maybe Allison.
Yeah.
You know, like, and maybe Nick.
Yeah.
So there's like 4 characters that we're really honing in on, and we see a lot of them, and it's like, it's really fun to see them like be people. I don't know, it's kind of stupid to say it like that, but like you build a relationship with them and then like you feel when they're in danger, you know what I mean?
I love the relationship between the 2 sisters, between Ziggy and Cindy. It was just like, it felt very real.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's also just like throughout these movies, it's like so sad. Like it seems everyone in Shady Side is just having a terrible time.
Yes.
And everyone in Shady Side.
Why do these kids even go to this camp?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, and the fact that the camp has like these color wars and it's like the Sunnyvale kids versus the Shady Side kids.
That's crazy. That's crazy. The color wars of 78 or whatever. I was like, bro, that's racist. Literally just like, it's like a very obvious metaphor for racism. Oh my God. like girl, what the flip? Like even when the kids are getting like jailed, you know, so they play this game.
My God,
so during the color wars,
they're playing
which is crazy. Capture the flag. Like you tag people from the opposing team, and if you tag them, you take them to like the jail or whatever. Even in the jail, like the Sunnyvale jailer who's taking care of the prisoners from Shady Side is so mean to them. He's like calling them nerds and like geeks and like, shut up, stupid.
He specifically is like, if you move or talk, I'll kill you.
I'll kill you. Yeah, I was like, hello?
Yeah, also, like, before they start, like, the whole, like, war thing, they have, like, a, you know, kind of a group leader sort of, like, you know, sort of give a speech to, you know, their kids. And the Sunnyvale kids, like, we're gonna murder these Shady Siders, these Shady Side witches. And then the girl from Shady
Side
is
totally foreshadowing for what happens in part 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the girl from Shady Side's like, at the end of the day, we're all winners in the end. And she's like super high.
We're winners in our hearts.
In our hearts.
And they were like, wow, boo. Even I was booing. I was like, that sucked, bro.
That's a terrible
First
like,
of all,
speech.
she wants to the other guy. And they eventually end up. And I'm like, I don't blame her. He's kind of cute.
Yeah, he's cute. You know I like blondes.
I totally don't. Yeah, I like blondes too. I don't like the Sunnyvalers at all. I think they're actually horrible people.
They're extremely unlikable.
Extremely unlikable. Shayla, first of all, moral question. Would you have left Shayla or would you go back to get her?
I would have left her ass.
Me too. Fuck that bitch.
And she would have been fine there.
She would have been fine. She was all locked up.
Yeah.
So in case you haven't watched the movie and you're listening anyway, Sheila is this girl who keeps picking... Sheila keeps picking on Sadie Sink's character, Ziggy.
Who seems like she's also a little shit, but like...
But
she's going through it.
She's going through it, but she's not a little shit because... But she's like less of a little... Like Sheila burns her. Like literally burns her. Like they're hanging Sadie Sink from a tree and Sheila literally puts a lighter up to her arm and like burns her. That's gnarly. Messed up. That was crazy.
That was pretty gnarly.
So that's the psychopathic behavior Sheila's got going on. So then to get back at
minions.
her... to get back at her, Ziggy locks her in the outhouse and dumps like a bunch of cockroaches on her, which was so freaking funny.
Crazy. So she was gonna pull like a Carrie on her with like red paint, and then Nick comes in and he's like, I have a better idea. I was like, oh, that is definitely way worse than paint or blood. I would rather have blood poured on me than cockroaches by a lot.
Would I rather blood poured on me or bugs poured on me?
It depends on the bug. Like, if you're saying bugs and you're pouring ladybugs on me, I'd rather have ladybugs. But cockroaches specifically,
you know what?
No.
I would rather... Okay, because she dumped bugs on her, but then she locked her in the outhouse. So I think I'd rather have blood poured on me than have bugs in a close quarters in an outhouse. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have blood poured on me.
No, absolutely.
Than be locked in there with all the...
Carry me, as in like
Carry as in the Stephen King novel, yeah.
Rather than this, whatever this was. That was crazy, but deserved.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I do think.
Yeah, anyway, back to my original point, the Sunnyvalers, oh my god, literally the worst people. And going back, piece of lore, by the way, going back to when Sheila burned Ziggy's arm. So when I was little, like in Honduras, like I was like maybe 5, I don't know. We were over at like my mom's friend's house or something, and they had like a couple young children there. We were like playing something, and like we ended up like underneath the table with like there was like a big cover on it, so like we were pretty much like hidden from like the adults, and it was like
fun.
the 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
And one of these fucking kids, pyromaniac, had like a lighter or something, and he kept like turning it on and off and on and off, and he kept like inching it closer to me, and I would be like, stop, what are you doing? And they were like, I'm gonna burn you. I don't remember too much of this actually, but like I do remember they burned my lip.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then so it was kind of dark, so like my mom didn't tell till we got home, and she was like, what happened to you? And I was like, oh, so and so burned me on the lip. And she was like, what? That's crazy. So like, yeah, I never saw that kid again actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Your mom killed him.
I wasn't.
The kid was never seen again.
In Honduras, you know what? I don't know, maybe, yeah. But like, I do remember I don't remember hanging out with like that family ever again. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
So that triggered me a little bit.
I will say, I enjoy playing with fire when I was a kid.
I did not for that reason.
So we had like in Colombia, we have this, like, it's the 7th of December. It's called El Día de las Velitas. It's like the day of the candles. And you light a bunch of candles, and you go outside and you light candles. And I like loved watching the wax melt on them. And you do like little sparklers and stuff. And people make these beautiful like lanterns. And everyone goes outside in the evening, and it's really beautiful. So I like really enjoyed playing with fire. But this summer, we were at the water park, and in my purse I found, you know, those little matchboxes that you get at like restaurants. It's like a little matchbook.
Yeah.
I found one, and I just was playing with it. Me, 26-year-old adult Mar, I'm playing, and I'm just lighting all the matches, and I like blew it out because I'm not trying to catch anything on fire. But then the little like tip of the match, which was all like kind of like ashy, fell on my like inner crotch. And it burned me so bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's tiny. It wasn't a bad, like, huge thing. But I just didn't expect that thing to be so hot.
Did you keep playing with matches?
No, I stopped immediately. I stopped immediately, and I was like, oh my god. And I like, left a scar. So I have, like, a little scar there.
Dang, bro.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's what I got. So, kids, don't play with fire. Don't play with matches. Be smart about it.
I also have a burn scar. It's on my stomach here. But it's from when I was cooking.
Oh.
So that was totally on me. Because I was cooking shirtless. Don't do that. At least now I'm like, okay, I need to like wear an apron.
We gotta wear clothes. Yeah, wear clothes when you're cooking, and don't
kids.
play with matches.
Yes, don't play with matches.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question.
Ask me.
Okay, so you know how Nick Good sort of like betrayed Ziggy's trust towards the end?
Yeah.
I feel so. Okay, as an aside, I feel like he did the realistic thing.
Yeah.
And I think she was wanting him to do the idealistic thing.
Yeah.
So I understand why he would say what he said.
Yeah.
You know, like, I understand that. But let me ask you a question. If you knew you were destined for greatness, would you tell the truth and not have that come true? Or would you keep the status quo?
If I knew I was destined for greatness,
like if you knew, like, I'm set up for life as long as I maintain the status quo, all I have to do is basically lie.
Oh, I mean, I feel like at that age, I would have maintained the status quo.
Me too.
At that age specifically.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think now I would I would have vouched for her, but yeah, like how old are they? Like, what, 14, 15? I would have absolutely just been like, she's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would have too, just because I feel like as an adult, I would feel more empowered to like speak out and be like, I'm telling you guys, like, I know you'll think I'm crazy, but this is what happened, and like, I can't explain it.
Yeah.
But like, but I think as a kid, I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would have lied and said what he said.
Yeah. Especially like in movies, and this is, I think, a common trope in horror, and it's something that like scares me and stresses me out, but it's when characters are not believed. Mm-hmm. It's so stressful. Or when someone is like, it's kind of like one person's voice against another and they believe the liar. It's so stressful to me.
Yeah.
And so like whenever we watch certain movies, like we watched Dr. Sleep last night, and I was so in Dr. Sleep, you have like grown, Danny Torrance, and he's talking to this little girl named Abra. And I was so nervous the whole time. I was like, oh my God, like when her parents find out, they're going to think that he is a freaking pedophile. Because duh. And so whenever it finally came to, and Danny was like, hey, like, we have to tell your parents. We have to talk to your parents. Like, these people are coming for you. And like the dad comes out and he's like, she's 13. And like, he's like throwing hands. And it doesn't last for very long. But I was so relieved because that stuff really stresses me out.
Yeah.
So this was like, whenever I watch, without getting into spoilers for part 3, like I felt that a lot in part 3, where it's like, what's happened, but the truth is not the status quo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, I find that really stressful.
I think there's like, okay, growing up with like video games and anime, a lot of these things tend to be very altruistic, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, like I just finished Metaphor Refantasia like a few months ago, and it's very much like we help anyone who needs it, and like everyone's equal and all this other stuff, and it's like very much like altruism and stuff like that. And I think that is like extremely valuable, and obviously like you should try to be good and be empathetic to everybody. It's just not always like how the world works. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's sometimes like a very interesting moral like dilemma of like the truth is almost always the best thing to do and like uphold like certain values and like morals and stuff like that. And like, but like the struggle against certain things, like, I don't know, like, is it worth the struggle?
Yeah.
Is it realistic to believe that something better can happen, or should you just work within the status quo to make the best of it? I feel like there's a lot of messaging here, especially because like there's a lot of like, you can tell there's a lot of like generational trauma in the movie.
Yeah,
right?
and like poverty is something that is so cyclical, and I really don't know if that's what they were going for with these movies, but now the more I think about it, I'm like,
but it's not even cyclical in the context of like Shady Side and Sunnyvale, because even Ziggy is like, you think if you're Little Miss Perfect, you can get out of Shady Side or whatever. She's like, you'll probably get hit by a bus on the way out.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not even that it's cyclical. It's like they're stuck there. And it's like, do you try to make the best with what you're getting, or is it better to believe that you can like break this curse or like come out of it, and like if you do everything right? But I think there's also some commentary on there, like even if you do things right, the system sometimes is just set up for you to fail. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. Yeah. It's a very interesting concept of like the people who get out of like really of poverty or like really bad situations, they're upheld as this like, see, if you only work so hard, like you can make it.
But that's not.
But it's really not, because like it doesn't matter sometimes how hard you do work, because there are very extremely hardworking people who just are poor and will be poor the rest of their lives. Exactly. It's not about how hard you work. It's really about this like system that oppresses a certain demographic. Absolutely. And keeps you there. Yeah. It's built to keep you there.
And I think with like Nick, there's a really interesting kind of thing there where he has the opportunity to kind of sort of help or work against the system. Yeah. But it would work against himself because he's set up for this amazing life. And so it kind of begs the question, like, I think a lot of the time the people who are profiting or benefiting from the system, they stand to lose something.
Yeah.
If we take the system down, the system which is oppressing some people. So it's this like moral dilemma of like, do I help kind of dismantle the system even though it does not benefit me? Or
in fact, it might be to
nothing?
your detriment.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think there's, this is like a very magical thing. There's like an actual curse and like all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But like, if you really, you can bring that to the real world, and like, kind of going back to my question, like, do you maintain the status quo, or do you help to fight against that, even though it might not benefit you at all? It might be to your detriment.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like Billie Eilish. Recently. Did you see that she called out billionaires in her acceptance speech?
Oh, really?
Dude, if you have not seen this, I would suggest that you go look it up, because Billie Eilish slapped Mark Zuckerberg in the face, essentially, is what happened. So, like, she accepted this award for music or something, and she said something to the effect of, there's people in this room who have a lot more money than me, and this is after she donated, like, however many $1 million to charity. She's like, there's people in this room who have so much more money than me. Why don't you just give your money away? He's like, if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire?
Yup.
And it's, it goes also to the ethical question of like, is it ethical to be worth billions of dollars?
Yeah. No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think there's...
I think it's resource hoarding. And
Absolutely.
it's one of those things where like, you cannot have billions of dollars without exploiting somebody and keeping them below a certain a certain point.
Also, like, I feel like some of them are so far removed from reality. Like, I recently watched, it was like a snippet of an interview with Kim Kardashian, and she was like, I don't even know how much milk costs. And like, in the same way that she can't fathom living like a normal person.
It's giving Arrested Development. How much could a banana cost?
$4? literally. But it's just kind of crazy, because at the same time, like, if I had $1 billion, like, I have a list of things that I would do, and then I'd be like, what do I do with the rest of this money? Like, I am not a frivolous person. I don't really crave luxury. I would pay off my house. I would buy a second house. I would pay off my parents' house. I would make sure that my family is set in Colombia. I would invest some money, and I would probably donate the rest, because I would want to still work, and I would want to travel. So I would definitely keep some money in savings for that. But really, like, I don't need to travel via private jet. I don't need luxury, designer goods, because ultimately, like, designer goods, although I do like vintage Coach purses. There's one vintage Coach purse that I would spend money on, but it's not nearly as much as some of these, like Hermes Birkin or something like that.
And I don't think we're arguing against like being wealthy. Like there's a difference, I think, between being wealthy, even if you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. Like, if you're worth $1 billion plus, that is like an ungodly amount of money. Like,
you could solve so many hunger.
Not that these people have like $1 billion in cash in the bank. Like, I understand what net worth means.
Yeah, or like the difference between liquid assets and
I get
stonks.
But still, like, I just don't understand like the need for that. I feel like if I hit $1 billion. And actually, Brian and I disagree in this. But like, if I hit $1 billion of wealth, like, I would literally, like, anything that I get above $1 billion, I would just give it away.
I agree.
Or I would, like, I would put it in like some kind of
like a trust or foundation.
Like a foundation, some kind of like, I forget what it's called, but it's like, it's an investment account where you put in money and it's strictly for charity. Like, anything that I would get above $1 billion, or even honestly, anything above 500 million, I would just put in some kind of like trust or some kind of charity fund to like, let's solve world hunger. Like, let's do some research.
By the way, like,
let's
right
cure
now,
cancer.
like, exactly. Instead of like doing shit, like, I know that Mark Zuckerberg is working so hard to make all the Meta products, Facebook, Instagram, even more addicting than they already are. Yeah. Freaking, what's his face? I hate this guy. Oh my god.
Elon Musk.
Why do we need to? We don't need to fucking go to Mars,
dude.
We
That's
don't need
crazy
to go to
that
Mars.
we're even like, which billionaire are you talking about?
Yeah, which
That's
asshole
insane,
billionaire,
bro?
I
Oh my
literally
God.
like. Why are we going to Mars when we could be curing cancer? When we could be giving all these grants? Right now, a bunch of people have just lost all their SNAP benefits because of the government shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
Do something about that. Like it's just insane. Like we have way too much technology and way too many means for people to even need things like SNAP benefits or food banks. Like the systems are failing us, the governments are failing us.
Yeah.
Like, it's just freaking crazy.
Everything is failing us.
It's freaking crazy. And I think a lot of the time, like regular people like you or I, we're made to feel like we need to make a difference, like we need to do something, when really it's the corporations, it's the billionaires. But it's what we were talking about.
When it comes to like environmental
exactly.
issues and
It's
stuff
this
like
dilemma
that.
where if they do something about it, they would not benefit from that. So
but the sad thing is also like the system is not set up for that. Like, well, the system is set up for billionaires to exist. Like that's the problem. And then, so like going back to like this example from the movie, it's like these like the shady siders versus the sunny veilers. Like the sunny veilers are part of this system where they reap the benefits of shady siders essentially being murdered every 13 years or whatever. And you know, it's just like, do you like that's the moral question is like, would you, if you were like, say you were a billionaire, you know what I mean? Like maybe if I had $1 billion, I would feel differently about this. I don't know that I would. I don't know if I'll ever have $1 billion, but like, yeah, I think it's a very interesting ethical question that Fear Street, you know, on the surface, it's like a very cool horror series, but at the same time, it's like, how do you fight these systems of oppression that like keep people down while upholding others? And I think that there is a lot of thinking that needs to be done on the part of a lot of us.
Absolutely. And I think even though I mentioned like, you know, the average person is made to feel like they should be doing something, and we should be doing something. Like there are so many ways that we can vote with our dollars every day, and we can actually vote, which by the way, November 4th,
I already voted.
I did not vote yet. I need to vote. We're gonna go.
I already voted for the first time ever.
Oh my god, wait. Yeah, that's such a big deal. That should have been your burying your hand moment.
Honestly, that should have been my burying my hand moment.
That's
You're
so
right.
exciting,
I voted on Tuesday for the first time ever because I was naturalized this last December. So this was the first election. I'm 33 years old. This is the first election I have voted in.
Yay!
So this is
so
really
exciting.
Cool.
Yeah. My husband and I are going to go vote November 4th.
Yes, please go vote.
We usually try to go vote early, but this time it got away from us. There's a lot of stuff.
Please go vote and keep in mind everything we talked about. You know, have compassion, have empathy.
Yeah.
You know, like really think about some of these moral questions because I think it's important. Like we gotta watch out for each other.
I think like, ultimately, like if other people benefit, like if that's where you're coming from, where it's like, oh, well, I want to benefit, which is not where I think you should be coming from. I think, you know, you should want other people to be fed and live well because that's a human right. But if that's not the case and you want to benefit yourself, if other people benefit, then they can contribute to the economy. Therefore, you eventually benefit. Yeah, true. That's kind of how it works. But anyway, okay, we kind of got away from
it. We kind of got away from it a little bit, but I think it is a theme of the movie. Like, you know, like this moral dilemma of, especially with Nick.
Yes.
Like, I think he's a very interesting character because you can see, like, he wants to do the right thing, but he's being pressured to uphold this, like, status quo. And I think that's a lot of people. So.
And it's like a generational thing, which I think says something, too. So there's that.
Okay, let's do the good, the bad, and the spooky.
Okay, perfect.
What's your good?
Okay, I love the camp setting. So fun. It felt so classic. It felt cozy. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I also, like, it was so interesting to me, the last movie as well, the lack of adults.
No, well, this one's more it's a little more realistic, I think.
Yes, but I mean, I feel like I've never been to camp, but I feel like there should be at least a couple more adults than there were in this movie.
Well,
like, you had the nurse, and then she goes away immediately.
Well, there's usually like like the camp counselors are technically adults, and you have like the one person who is like more adultier than the other adults.
I mean, they're technically adults, but like Cindy mentions like going to college, so she's like what, 18 maybe max, but like I'm so sorry, if you're 18, 19, 20, you're not an adult. You're not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm the one breaking this to you. Legally, sure.
You're not an adult in your brain.
You're not an adult in your brain.
Yeah.
You're a
legally
kid.
you
You're
are,
a baby.
but
exactly.
Trust me when I say, now that I'm 33 and looking back when I was 16.
Trust and believe. You are not an adult. You're not a grown up. Yeah. Okay, the camp setting. I love the underground layer of the witch, and I love all the characters. This movie, I liked all of the characters. I liked the two sisters, and I liked Allison. I was rooting for them so hard, and for most of the movie, I liked Nick until I didn't. So that was kind of good. I also loved the soundtrack for this movie. I love music from the 70s. So we had Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie, which is one of my favorite songs ever. It's just so crazy. It literally starts, I'm an alligator. I'm a mama papa coming for you. I'm a space invader. I love this movie. I love this movie. I love that song. I also love Carry On Wayward Son. Excellent.
Yes.
And
That
Fallen
song-
in Love, Slow Ride.
That song always reminds me of Supernatural. Have you ever seen Supernatural?
Wait,
No, right?
Carry On Wayward Son?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not seen Supernatural.
Okay. There's a reason.
I love Carry On Wayward. I love Ever Fallen in Love by the Buzzcocks. That song is also in Shrek 2, which excellent movie. And then Slow Ride, which was excellent, and also during a sex scene, and I thought that was kind of interesting.
Because it was not a slow ride
No, it
from
was
what we
not.
could tell anyway.
Joan, what's your good?
I'm like 100% agree with you on this. The soundtrack was incredible. There's just something about 70s,
I love 70s music.
80s
Yeah.
brand of rock music.
Yeah.
And other music too that's just like completely unparalleled. I think those 2 decades were like such an incredible time for music.
Yeah.
Now all of these songs are from the 70s because it takes
it's set
place in 78.
78.
But I definitely think that there's a lot of influence moving into the 80s from these different songs. I also love disco. Like, you know,
Joan
there was
loves
no
disco.
disco in this movie, but the 70s were strong for disco.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just to add to my love of like these 2 decades of music,
Yeah.
I think they were like extremely formative to American
Yes.
culture. I love this film. I thought it was solid. Like, it was a solid slasher with minimal, sensical supernatural stuff.
Okay.
Like, I felt like there was just enough supernatural to make it extra spooky, but not enough to where it's like you have to suspend all of the disbelief like in the first film. And on that, I think that there's a lot less of suspension of disbelief in this movie.
Yes.
There's more, you know...
It feels more grounded.
It feels more grounded. I'll say a couple of things in my bad that were like, okay, girl, please.
Yeah.
But there was less of that in this movie, or at least less impactful.
Yeah.
I love Sadie Sink's performance in this. I think
she's so good at playing an
so
angsty
good.
teen.
She really, really is, and she ate that up.
She ate.
I hate the Sunnyvale kids, but I love that about this film.
I love to hate them.
I love to hate them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Sheila.
Oh my
hate
gosh,
you.
Sheila.
I hate you, Queen.
She's
I hate you, but I
literally-
love you, Queen.
I hate you. I hate to love you.
No, I love to hate
love
you.
to hate you. I love to hate
That
you.
was real life, our 2 brain cells coming together.
There was like an electrical. Sheila, you stupid
Bitch.
Oh my god, what's your bad, Mar?
Okay, the only thing I can say bad about this movie was maybe the timing a little bit, but like not even a huge deal at all. I really like this movie. I will mention fuck the Sunnyvalers. Oh my god. But like you said,
God.
like I love to hate them. Like I love to hate them.
They round out that
Sheila
whole
was
aspect.
just so bad, and they're always like there's always this like rhetoric of like murdering the shady siders, which is so messed up. It's crazy. And then also I think it is interesting because, you know, the shady side mascot for like the school and stuff, it's the witches, and then Sunnyvale, it's the devils. Why are the witches more vilified than the devils? I think maybe is that misogyny at work because witches are traditionally women. Interesting.
Misogyny.
Think on that. Chew on that. Yeah, and also like the. Wait, no, I'm reading my spooky now. Yeah. No. I think I'm gonna move this to my spooky.
Okay.
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
What's your bad?
So for my bad, girl, that's not how CPR works. They straight up stabbed Ziggy like in the like multiple times underneath the stomach, like into her lungs. And this man, Nick, just goes up to her and starts doing CPR.
Yeah.
Girl, you are gonna pump her stomach or her lungs full of blood first of all, and you're going to cause her to bleed out faster.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not how CPR works.
Yeah. Also, it really takes me out of like anything whenever they're doing CPR and they're just like they're just moving their chest up and down, but their arms aren't doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Because like from my understanding, because I've done a couple CPR like certifications because I had to, and like you gotta get in there, like you are going down and it's tiring, and I'm like tiring. You are doing nothing because obviously it's an actor.
That's why they say if you have somebody who is also CPR certified, you gotta like take turns doing it. But yeah, the CPR, I was like, girl, please. Also, Alice, she like breaks her leg at some point. She has a bone sticking out. And then Cindy just like, oh yeah, tell me more about that. Crack! She like sets her bone, and I was like, first of all, where did you learn how to do that? Mm-hmm. Second of all, towards the end of the movie, Alice comes out with like the hand or whatever, and they're like, okay, you're gonna stay here while we bury the hand. And she was like, no, I can hop around. And she's like hopping on the leg. No. Like, she's putting weight on it. I'm like, literally. Girl, do you know how much that would hurt? Your bone is literally broken, and it's rubbing up against each other. That is a compound fracture. Literally, it's completely broken, girl. Exactly. Yeah. So, like, no. Like, there's no way she's hopping on that, and then she immediately gets murdered, of course. Of course. I was like, girl, that is so unrealistic. I can't even. Of course, never mind that they all came back to life, and there's a witch and all that.
Yeah, I mean, no, we don't worry about that.
I think there's a fine line between, like, believing the fantastical and then like there's like actual real world physics. Yeah. Like there's a fine line between that where it's like if you establish that like these things can come back to life, okay, cool, like I can believe that. But if you tell me that you're gonna hop around on your broken leg, girl, no.
Although there is adrenaline, so that
I think the adrenaline has worn off.
That's true.
It's been like an hour at least since she broke her leg.
Like, think about Bone Tomahawk though.
Oh yeah. That was more realistic though, I think.
That was more realistic because he did not make it like at the same pace as they did. Yeah. And also
like we can imagine that his leg had been healed for a little while before the movie starts.
Then he re-breaks it.
But then he for sure re-breaks it.
I mean, and then he crawls around the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Checks out.
And they did say he was a very determined man.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think I would come after you like that. I would drag.
You'd draw it. You'd crawl around.
Yeah.
What's your spooky?
Okay. The freaking broken leg. I hate like Ooh. I will watch anything gory, like it doesn't bother me, but like watching an ankle break, specifically ankles or just bones in general, it just like runs through me. Also outhouses, like the concept of them, because they have to crawl out of the outhouse, or they're trying to. Also, she's got this super broken leg. They're trying to crawl out of this outhouse, and then they fall down. She
falls down
with that broken leg, and
and she like lands on it.
Yes.
Also, she's getting shit all on her broken leg.
No, she was going to die from sepsis. She's gonna be septic, anyway.
Girl.
No. Also, although screw Sheila, the whole bug bucket. So that's what I was gonna say
Sheila's
earlier.
Literally the worst.
I think deserved, but like that is so scary to me. Is having a bucket of bugs dropped on me, and I can't get out of the room. Oh my god, I watched this reel. It's this guy, and there's a spider, and he's like running away from the spider. He like runs away and shuts the door, and the spider just walks right under the door. So funny. Okay, amazing. Joan, what is your spooky?
I love the underground cave.
Yes.
I thought that was so spooky. The beating heart / tumor thing that they came across, and then that's where all the killers come from.
Yes. That's where they spawn from.
That's where they spawn.
That's what we had this talk before.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, where do they come from? Exactly. That's where they come from. Brilliant. No notes.
I love it. Yes.
Tommy as a murderer, I thought he was so good.
He has a murder face. He has a murderous face to him.
But he was kind of hot.
Definitely.
At first, he was really cute. And then his transformation into a killer is like so cool. Like even as he's like just possessed, and you see like blood on his face and like the murder eyes, like he does such a great job at portraying that role.
Also, I think it was interesting, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
No, I didn't, but I
yes, you did.
I kind of enjoyed that in this one we get to sort of see the experience of being possessed.
Yeah.
Because we kind of see him like sort of going in and out a little bit before he fully is taken over. So I thought that was really interesting as well.
Yeah. And I love that they brought back the killers that we were kind of familiar with.
Yes, which I loved.
That was really cool.
Yes,
like Lucy. Lucy came back. That was really cool.
Oh my god. I don't know if we see him in this one, but that little boy who's wearing that creepy mask.
Yeah, he did come back.
So creepy, so
But I
scary.
liked that there was not a lot of them because that was the first film.
Yeah.
And so like they do come back because they are there and that's what the witch uses.
Yeah.
But you know it's.
But they've kind of already done that, so they don't focus on that as much.
Yeah,
which
and I
liked.
really like that.
Yeah.
And then Nick Good, like someone getting your trust and then breaking it like that. That's kind of
especially
really sad.
at that age, like, and you've been like wronged so much, and yeah.
All right, let's rate this movie by the number of killers who would be after you if you bled on the witch.
Ooh.
So how many killers would come after you, Mariana, because of how much you like this movie?
I would have 8 out of 10 killers.
8 out of 10 killers. That's very good.
Yeah, I would have 8 out of 10 killers coming after me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Honestly, 8.
Okay, 8.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 killers. Yeah. I think this is a solid horror flick. Like, you could probably even watch this without watching the first one.
Yeah.
You know, if you want a little bit more context, I think the context from the first one actually is what really made this good. So maybe you should watch the first one before this one.
Think I agree. And there is like a little bit like a sandwich like at the beginning of this movie and at the end where you kind of are back in 1994, and so I think it's worth watching the first one.
I think so too.
This one's my favorite, and then the third one is also great. So
okay, now let's move on to our letterbox reviews. In this section, we read hilarious letterbox reviews. Mariana, as always,
section.
you want to kick us off?
Yeah, this is Aaliyah or Aliyah. Damn, those characters are really going through it. You'd think they need a hand.
You think they need a hand?
I think they need a hand.
This one's by Julianne DeBaker, 3.5 stars. This is exactly why I never went to summer camp. That kind of shit happens all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, we have so many historical records of it in the films.
Yes, exactly. Rule number 1, don't go to summer camp.
Don't go to summer camp.
Okay, this is Nabil. This review may contain spoilers. Sadie Sink really said, bitch, I'm earning that final girl status.
For real. So I was shocked actually because I really thought it was Cindy who was going to live.
Yeah.
And then when Tommy is like axing her in the chest, and I was like, that can't be.
I literally was like, she ain't come back from that.
She ain't come back.
But
then I was also like, there's no way Sadie's coming back from that.
Yes.
They were like,
yes.
over and over. And I was like, there's no way she survived that either. So I thought there was going to be some magical
she
mumbo
needed
jumbo.
to be stabbed a little bit less, I think.
Yeah. Or, you know, just resuscitate her in a different way.
It just required more suspension of disbelief than I think I had in me.
Yeah. This one's from Emma. This is 3 stars. It's good to know that the best way to treat multiple stab wounds is to ignore the multiple stab wounds and apply heavy chest compressions by the stab wounds instead.
Yep. Noted. Wrote it down.
Yep.
Okay, this is by Frames of Nick. The 70s weren't even a real decade.
Shout out to the 70s, though. That was really good.
That's so funny.
I would not like to live in the 70s because racism and homophobia
and everything else.
Yeah. But I would like to visit.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to party in the 70s for a couple days and then come back. You know?
Yeah.
And that about does it for today. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed the podcast, tell your friends about us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and rate us 5 stars in whatever app or podcast service you use to bring on the spooks.
Please follow us on our socials by going to scarymovienights.com or looking us up on any platform. You can also message us through our socials or by sending an email to spooky@scarymovienights.com. I'll say it again, we said it last time, but we're reviewing this film and all the other Fear Street films because a viewer suggested it.
It was a request. So, you know, like, we do look at the comments, we do look at your messages. So please message us. We love interacting with people who listen.
Yeah.
We love yapping about scary movies, so please message us. Like,
definitely.
It's so much fun. And you should also tell us in the comments what you think about Fear Street Part 2 1978. How many killers would go after you? I'm Joan.
I'm Mariana.
And thanks for joining us for another Scary Movie Night. See you in 2 weeks. Stay spooky. Woo.
You have to keep that.
We're keeping it.